Well, obviously, as you can see, this is a different podcast than normal. But as always, thank you for listening to Headbangers and Hooligans. It's yours truly, Scummalicious. And fortunately, I lost an old friend on a week ago from Sunday. Uh, and this is just more kind of looking back and just giving my respect to him and his family. Uh, it is complete bullshit what happened to him. I'm not going to lie. Uh, I don't know the whole story. I'm getting different stories of what actually went down, but I know that he was beaten in the fucking head until it changed him as a person and who he was, and that's not right. Somewhere somebody crossed the line. They did. Uh, and I will never forget seeing him in the hospital for the first time after this beating uh, in Des Moines. And he was laying in that bed, and I was like, holy fuck. It was pretty shocking. Seeing his head caved in, you know, swelled up head, scars, missing teeth. It's like he's just laying there, and I'm thinking, I'm never going to see him conscious again, talking to people. I was wrong because he got transferred to Iowa City, which, by the way, probably the best fucking hospital in the United States is in Iowa City. Yes, I'm speaking facts there, people. Uh, People from all over the world come to Iowa City. So, and you know what? Fuck yeah, I'm proud of that. But I remember him getting transferred to Iowa City, and I was living and working in Iowa City at the time, so I was able to go visit him. And there he was. He was out of the bed, walking around, talking, and not saying a lot. But I knew at that point, I knew instantly that that wasn't the same person. Um, and that he was going to have help to live out the rest of his life. And it is sad looking back on it. And that was about 10 years ago. And I hadn't seen him in a while before that happened. Someone had told me, uh, hey, did you hear about Tony? He got, he got beat up and basically just left for dead. Which kind of speaks to him as a person. Like, that's who he was. Like, anybody that knew him, like me, just never fucking backed down from everything. Anything. At all. Ever. No matter who the person was. Just had to fucking show how tough he was. That's who he was. Uh, I had known him since first grade. In fact, the first time that we actually met, I was in a fight with this kid. I was throwing fades, as the peeps and the homies would say today. Yeah, I was giving some kid my hands. I said, "You want these hands? You can have them." But this kid's friend was going to jump in, and Tony said, "Nuh-uh, having no part of that." And from that day on, we were friends. We grew up together in elementary in Williamson. Uh, First grade on, and then up through high school. Now, a couple years through in high school, we didn't hang out as much, and then we kind of reconnected our senior year and hung out all the time. Probably too much to our parents' dissatisfaction because we caused a lot of fucking trouble. Not gonna lie, that's just what we did. Um, Drank way too much beer together, uh, and we probably remained good friends until we were around 25, and then we kind of went our separate ways. And I'm not going to sit here and say that he was an angel either. Tony wasn't perfect, but neither am I. So I'm not the fucking right person to judge him. Uh, could he be a dick sometimes? Absolutely. And he was. He was a dick to me a few times. Uh, I remember a couple times I just wanted to say, you know what? Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. But in the end, I always knew that he had my back, and he always did. And it's crazy when I just think about it. I could have got into it with anybody. I could have started the shit. It wouldn't matter. He would have still been by my side. Uh, and life does happen. People grow up, they do different things. The friends you have when you are 5 are different, when you're 15 are different, when you're 25 are different. That's just how life works. We know that. But I did see him a couple times, after we kind of just went our separate ways. And I remember thinking how he had changed, and not for the good, but I still considered him a friend. Maybe we weren't close as we used to be, but I would have still considered him a friend. Just didn't want to hang out with him at that time. But I sure as hell didn't want to see him get beat to the point where it really did change who he was and the way he lived his life. And to live through that and survive 10 years after all that happened, that really does kind of tell you how tough he was. Um, I just hate the fact that uh, in the end, that's kind of what caused his death. And the fucking assholes that did that. And I don't know what he did. Like, I don't know the whole story, like I said before. Uh, if he did something to these people that beat the shit out of him, they could have just beat him up and been done with it. Not beat him to where they almost fucking killed him. Seriously. And then just walk away like nothing happened. And these fucking people basically got away with it. Not basically, they did. Uh, that part is wrong. Um, but, I try to focus on all the good stuff, the good memories that we had growing up, all the stupid shit that we used to do. Uh, and there were a lot of good times. Um, I guess, and his brother-in-law posted on Facebook, life is so short, man. You know, these little moments, stupid moments you have with your friends, you got to cherish them forever because you never know what's going to happen. We think we're in control, but we're really not. We don't really control anything. Uh, Anything can happen at any time. But, as a friend, I'm going to miss him. Uh, I still feel bad for him and his entire family. Uh, and at some point in your life, you're going to say, you're going to have like maybe, I'm just going to say like 5 or 6 really close friends. You might have 20 friends or 50, you think, but there's really only a handful of people that you're really going to be close to. And uh, one time he was one of those people. He really was. And like I said before, we did grow up, and life happened, but it doesn't change the fact that at one time he was my best friend. And I just think about the end, and it's sad, but I'm going to choose to look back on all of the good times that we had together, and that's how I want to remember it. So, uh, just a quick little podcast, little shout out to my childhood friend. Sorry to see you go. My thoughts go out to your family and to all the friends like me that grew up with him. Uh, we all miss you. Rest in peace, Tony.